All right, so we are going to get these all put together and ready to prime. So first thing I do is I get myself a little paint stirrer is actually what I use. I have a couple of them that I can just stick minis on and paint them. I use like the little Gorilla Glue tack things, similar to blue tack for this. So I got some fresh tack, and now we're going to get the zombies themselves. So as you can see, here are some of the zombies we're going to get ready to paint. So we're going to make sure they line up. Everything's good there. So now what I want to do is make sure that when I flip it, because I like to prime it, kind of turn it a little, we're going to make sure that he stays on. So we're going to take just an itty tiny bit of this and put it into where the foot is going to go. We'll line these feet up and then just squish. Now, I know when he's upside down with the airbrusher, he'll stay stuck. So we can rip this in half, get a decent sized chunk, put it on the stick, press the base down to it, press him down on his base. Voila! One zombie on there. We're good to go. Next one. A little interesting. Let's check that. Let's check the fit. Everything looks pretty lined up, pretty good there. So now we're gonna again take a little tiny piece. It's the tiniest piece. We're gonna put it where the foot goes. Line up both feet, press down on the tack, holds on upside down. Take this rest of this tack and we're going to move it a little, give him a little space. Put him right here, press down on that. And voila, now we have two zombies ready to prime. One here, one here. We're going to start with the Stynylrez. With a black color, I prefer to do kind of the shadows first and then work my way up from there. So let's put a little black primer in our airbrush here. Pop the lid on every time. Make sure we've got a good pressure going. We do. Now I'm just gonna let it gently come out on the bottom. These are where a lot of our shadows are down here. We're going to come back with a gray and maybe a white, but most likely just a gray. When you use primer, it is a little bit more prone to clogging compared to, say, just regular paint or even the cleaning solution that we use. So you just want to make sure you got everything cleaned and opened up. And come from underneath. Flip it over. Same thing from the front. Now we've got our zombies with black already sprayed on there for the shadows. You can do the sides if you feel like it needs it. Kind of come up here like this. Where the shadows would be. Because remember, we are going to come around with gray and white. So if we got black anywhere it shouldn't be, we should be able to cover that up as we go around for the next couple turns. So I'll move those guys up top. One thing you want to do with primer, you don't ever want to waste it. So even though I didn't use it all, we still have some in the brush. We don't want to get rid of it. Boop. Pop that real quick. So what I do is just pour it back in. Pour it out of the paint cup, back in. We're good. We'll set these guys to the side up here. And then we'll repeat the step that we've already done for brush cleaning. We're going to take our shop towel. Well, first we're going to put up the black paint. Then we're going to get our lid over here. I'm going to try not to get black all over my hands. We're going to pick that up. And we're just going to clean off the lid a little. Make sure we don't get any on our hands. Good to go. Set that guy to the side. See, nothing on my hands. Then we're going to get our cleaning solution. We are just going to essentially power wash, I guess, is one way to put it, the cup. Once we're done, clean out the brush, get rid of all the cleaning solution. As soon as it's done, we're going to hold it open and just clean it with our shop towel. We're going to use that just to check and see if there's any left in it. I do not see any black residue, so I think we got all of the black primer out. So the next primer we're going to use is still Stynylrez, but it is gray. And now we're going to come from probably, I'd say, 60 to 70 degree angle around the minis. We don't use as much, but I still like to put the cap on just to be safe to make sure I don't spill it. So, we set this up. There we go. Now from about, again, so if they're flat, I'm from, if you're looking at that mini there, the airbrush is coming in from roughly this angle. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's a little from the direction of light, but also still enough that the model is going to get just a light gray. And even what I'm going to do, knowing where the shadow and the light's coming from, I don't want to get gray all around the model. I want to keep the back somewhat black. And then maybe just come from the top. And just go over like so. So now we get a good little silhouette kind of feel to him. We'll come over here to this guy and do the same thing. I'm about 6 inches away from the minis when I spray this. Just trying to not overtake where the light would come from. So I want to keep some of the dark in there with the shadows. That's the whole kind of bonus from Zenithal priming. So as you see, that guy's probably a little bit better than the second guy's probably better than the first. You can see as I flip them upside down, you still have some of those darker colors, but as they come around, the gray starts to lighten up, and then as you get to your point of view where you'd be looking, they're completely gray and you can't really see too many shadows. That is the idea behind Zenithal priming and what we want. So again, we are going to not waste any primer. This primer is expensive. Pop the lid off. Clean that off on our towel. Open up our primer and just dump everything that's in there in. I usually try to let it drip until it's taken forever to kind of form another one. And we'll put this guy up. And again, same process. We're going to get our cleaner and just with this type of water bottle that was actually recommended by the painter. Like I said, it's kind of like a power wash. So then we're gonna, if you don't want to get it all over, cover this up right here with your towel, spray it into the cup. As soon as it's done, get our finger, clean out the cup. And then we're gonna spray onto it as much as we can, just to make sure we got everything. Now the next step, last but not least, we're gonna use the Stynylrez white primer. This is gonna be from probably like 80-degree angle. Wherever your source of light is, really is where you want to place this. So for this guy, if I'm looking at him, I kind of want the light, how I've sprayed him, to be coming from this direction. So we're going to set him up. I'm going to come where the direction of light would be. We're just going to brighten him up with a little white. Now, as we go around, you can see the bright with the white, and as you get all the way around, you can see the darker and more of the grays. So for this guy, same thing. We're going to want it from about this direction. I'm just going to open it up, briefly hit him with white from that direction of light. Now we've got a good blend of grays, whites, and black on them. And now we are ready to let them dry and paint. Again, we're going to save as much of this primer as we can that we didn't use. Use our cleaner that we made with water and isopropyl alcohol and just rinse out the airbrush. Then we will take our shop towel, put it over the top, and just start to spray out the paint from the airbrush. Really clean it real good. Once it's done coming out, we're going to take our shop towel, again, clean out the paint cup really well. Make sure we're not shooting any white paint. I don't see any. We're good. So now, to put the brush up, I'm going to take the actual airbrush needle out and make sure there's nothing on it. As you can see, I pulled it through here and here. There's not much on there, so we did a really good job of cleaning this brush out, cleaning it as we were going, which is great. So then I'm going to put this airbrush needle back in. I'm going to push it all the way through. If you look, you can see at the tip that there is a needle sticking out. I want to pull it. I pull this one back to about here. And as you look, now there's no needle sticking out of the end of the gun. Tighten it back down. And this is how I'm going to store my airbrush. That will allow the airbrush to not, if there's any paint still in it or anything in the solution, it will go towards the tip and drip out rather than sticking the needle in place. So the next time I go to use it, I'll be able to freely move it and get it all set and ready to go. But we have now finished. We airbrushed and got two guys ready to paint. This is going to be a Halloween special. We will let these guys dry and regroup tonight to paint them. Thanks for checking this out, and I will see you guys later.